Hi, this is Chris Reddick with Chris Reddick Financial Planning. In this blog post, I talk about the lazy portfolio. So, the lazy portfolio, what is this? And I direct it towards those who work in public service jobs and educator types of jobs. So, teachers, higher education, government, federal, state, local, and so forth. So, what is a lazy portfolio? Essentially, the idea is that investing shouldn't be difficult, right? It shouldn't be complicated. The industry pushes a lot of complication and then charges fees on the idea of it's complicated. You got to hire someone to do it, right? So the idea of a lazy portfolio is to pick a basket of low cost index funds. So specifically what I'm going to talk about is the three fund portfolio. And the advantages of this lazy portfolio is that you only have a small number of mutual funds or index funds that are in the portfolio. Okay, and it's, as I mentioned, it's only three, so it's very simple, right? That's one. It's diversified, so it's not just in U.S. stocks; it's international. It's in bonds as well. It's low cost, so we're dealing with low cost index funds. And then finally, it's passive, right? So there's not a lot of ongoing stuff you need to do, maybe rebalance every couple of years or so forth. So who invented the lazy portfolio? Well, we have Paul Farrell, who was a former columnist for the Market Watch. And basically the idea came from the Bogleheads, right? So John C. Bogle was the founder of what was called Vanguard Group, right? So which is called Vanguard now. And they championed the idea of low-cost index funds. So what are the three funds in the lazy portfolio? So the first one is a total stock market index fund. So what does that cover? That covers broadly the U.S. stock market. So the S&P 500 is the one you commonly hear about in the business news, right? And it includes small cap, mid cap stocks. So it has around 4,000 stocks in this index fund covering the U.S. stock market. And the second one in the lazy portfolio is your international stock fund. So what does this cover? So essentially everything outside the U.S. So developed markets like Europe, and then developing markets like India and China. Okay, and then the final area is a total bond market index fund. So what does this cover? This covers U.S. bonds, so bonds in the U.S. market as a whole. So it covers a lot of different bonds, treasury bonds, and so forth, right? So all the major custodians or brokers like Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, they have these type of funds in there. And you can check out the Bogleheads wiki, and then you can learn more about how to design that type of fund. So an even lazier way of developing a portfolio is a one fund solution, so a target index fund. So these are also extremely easy, right? You just pick the one fund, you pick when you're going to retire, and you just keep putting money into the fund. So it automatically rebalances, it's simple, and it's diversified, right? So these are lazy portfolios. So one is the three fund portfolio, right? And then you have something that's even lazier. It's a one fund target index fund, right? Okay, so this is the idea of a lazy portfolio. It's easy to use. It's cost efficiency because it's low cost index funds. It's diversified, so you don't just hold stocks in the US, you hold it overseas, you hold it in different markets, tech, health, and so forth. It's time saving, so you only have three funds to manage or just one target fund. And the performance generally equals or exceeds active funds, right? So we're talking about index funds tracking the market. All right, so these are the lazy portfolios. I just want to talk about them, but I did not talk about like how you should allocate it if you do the lazy portfolio between bonds and stocks, right? So that's something you need to talk to with a financial advisor to look at your risk and when you're going to retire and so forth. Okay, so reach out to me on the contact page below if I can be of service and talk about lazy portfolios or retirement planning, investments, or tax planning. Have a great day.